This means that you already know the information. This means that the one thing that's holding you back is anxiety, is fear, is doubt. And this is normal. Everybody experiences this. Everybody is worried about scheduling their exam. The PANCE, the PANRE, especially clinicians, practicing clinicians, for example, that work in cardiologist's office, right? They have to do a generalized exam. What if you work in OB/GYN? You have to do a generalist exam and answer questions about cardiology, answer questions about dermatology. So there's fear, right? There's anxiety, there's doubt. Everybody experiences this. This is normal, right? Why? Because you're doing something that can ultimately affect your future. So this means that we create this anxiety within ourselves. And it's actually that anxiety that's going to cause you distress, and it's actually going to be responsible for you missing certain questions. It's not going to be the lack of knowledge. It's going to be the anxiety and the fear. And it's normal to have doubt. Anytime you do anything new, whether it's take an exam, whether it's start a new job, whether it's do a new procedure, whether it's encounter a patient that you've never experienced before, you're going to have doubt. And doubt's normal. Everybody experiences this, regardless of how long you've been practicing, regardless of how old you are, regardless of your past experience. The difference is, what do you do with this doubt? Do you let it affect you? Or do you internalize it, realize it's there, and then move on? Right? That's what separates those that succeed and fail. Both have doubt. Those that succeed do what they were going to do anyway. Those that fail allow doubt to consume them, and then that takes over. So realize what you're feeling right now. This anxiety, the fear of the unknown, the fear of getting asked the question that you don't know the answer to. That's normal. And you're not going to know everything on your exam. Why? Well, they like to test you on things, they like to give you questions that aren't necessarily going to count. There will be questions on your exam that do not count because they want to test these questions. They need to get an adequate sample size. So if you see a question that you have no idea, don't stress. It could be that that question does not count, right? So fear is normal. Doubt is normal. I also want you to realize that you're good enough. So many people, so many students, so many clinicians get to this point and they start to doubt their abilities. They start to question, am I cut out for this? Am I good enough? How am I going to have one exam that's testing me on the knowledge over the past 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, depending on the school? Right? You're good enough. If you weren't good enough, you wouldn't have passed all the prereqs. If you weren't good enough, you wouldn't have been admitted into school. If you weren't good enough, you wouldn't have passed all your exams. You wouldn't have passed your finals. You wouldn't have passed rotations. You would have been kicked out a long time ago. The fact that you're here means you're good enough. The fact that you made it this far means that you know enough. It's not a lack of knowledge that's going to get you. It's the fear. It's the anxiety. It's the self-doubt. So, this is a mental game at this point. This is you understanding that you can pass.